These are all the Lego kits I was able to dig out of my Gen X toy collection. Legos are famous for a lot of things, most noticeably people cussing as they step on them in the middle of the night. Legos have been around for decades, obviously, because I've been around for decades and I played with them as a kid. But they're a very cool toy. For me, having grown into being an engineer, I loved them as a kid because it let you build things and see how things went together, practice following instructions, getting frustrated, understanding, how things are built. So it was a great experience and a great building block for me as far as a learning tool, and eventually useful to train my brain to think that way as an engineer later in life. Legos have come a long way over the years as well. You can see as I go through each of these kits how much they're different from the very first one I have to some of the others that have gotten a little bit more complicated. And these are, again, childhood ones. When I look at the most recent one I did a couple years ago, the BMW S1000RR, that was a very complex model that took quite a bit of time to do it. I almost felt like I had to have an engineering degree to put that thing together, but it's got so much cool complex features like actual working engine parts with connecting rods and pistons, and it goes back to the chain, and when you turn the wheel the engine moves, and you have springs in the suspension. So as a motorcycle guy and an engineer and everything, I still love Legos. They've just gotten so much more complex, but it's nice because we as adults can enjoy them now as well. I'll start with the very first kit that I had, and for some of these, like this particular one is so old that it was sort of hard to find instructions for how this thing looked and was built. I had kind of pieces of it together, but it looks like it's pretty close to, if not the Hospital 555, and there are a lot of resources online where you can not only print out instructions for them, but you can order replacement pieces. And for this one, for the most part, things are there. Now there are things like, let's say it needs a 4-banger here and an extra piece over here, and it needs a 4-piece across here for the ambulance, and maybe it doesn't have the sticker on there. But for the most part, it's there. That's probably one of the more missing aspects. The wheelchair, it also needs a few pieces, but the instructions are in there, so you could easily go in and order exactly what it was. But that's the kind of thing, is things like the wheelchair and the stretcher, the way you made them back then is you took it and you actually split the person top to bottom and then put the item they're carrying in between because they didn't have arms. And then for this guy over here to be sitting on the bench, he actually is split in half because the legs didn't fold. So it's a very early archaic way of doing it. They did have hair and hats and whatever, but there's no faces on the heads. Pretty simple design, really. And so this is a hospital. You can see in the instructions it has the thin ones up on top to make a red cross on a white background. I didn't have enough pieces to do that. It needs a couple, let's see, what was the other things on this one? Oh, you can kind of see the gap right here in the windows. It's got kind of a Madonna or Schwarzenegger tooth gap in it. So it needs a couple red ones there, and there are a couple of other little spots where maybe I used a white single instead of a red. So it's not complete, but I would probably call it about 98% complete. The base, the green base, does have a crack about right here on it. Just to make you aware of that, I don't have the little Red Cross sticker on here. And one of the doors, I think, is missing the glass in it. But for the most part, the kit is there. It's got the rim around it here for kind of a curb and stuff. It's got the little gray tiles for the ambulance to go through. So it's mostly there. Like I said, just a few details and stuff that this particular one is missing. But that was my first one. The next one that I remember getting was the police station. And the corner of the base is broke. They still have the corner of it right there. And from what I can tell, this is Police Headquarters 588. And again, I printed these online. The actual details within here are not identical to how the model was built. So I have to believe there was some evolution in design over time. I tried to make it as close to what I had before, but these are some instructions guiding it with just a little bit different way to build it. The one thing I'll note on here is that the green shutter, the window hinge on that yellow frame came off. So the green shutter is just kind of laying inside the office here, but it has its door here for this office. It's got the little megaphone, the TV antenna, some red lights. It also has the little door down here for this office. It has its lamp post, its little phone, its tree. Here's the door down here, oops, to the jailhouse with a little cot in it. And actually, when I saw this guy here in blues, I thought, oh, those are prison blues. He's the prisoner. And I looked in the book and realized he's actually the signal guy for the helicopter landing. But it does have a little jailhouse over here. And then the drive-through has the open doors, so you could park the vehicles in there. I guess that antenna is a little bit tall, but you could actually park them in there if you want. You've got a motorcycle guy here for the bike, and you have the car over here, a guy to drive that. There is a motorcycle guy in the helicopter, and this one is extra unique. If I can get him out of here. Of course, open the door, right? You can kind of see that the helmet is a little bit chewed up on him. That's because our dog, when I was young, was a puppy and decided he got a hold of that helmet one day. So you got a few puppy teeth marks from the 70s, well, probably from the 80s in that. But as far as I can tell, besides the green shutter I mentioned, and I think this could actually use a couple more of the little blue lights out here. Other than that, everything seems to be here and functional. I don't really see any other issues. There might be onesie-twosies, but for the most part, everything seems together and working. So that's the police station. The next one that I got a hold of was the gas station. And with the vehicles I drive, that's something I spend way too much time at. But I'd rather spend more time at the gas station than the police station or the hospital. Unfortunately, that doesn't always work as planned. So this looks like 6375 is the kit for the Exxon gas station. There are different variations of it. This particular one actually has not only the gas station, but it has the Exxon tow truck with the car behind it. And it has the gas pumper truck, which still has the hose inside of it from when it was brand new. Pretty amazing. This thing on eBay, this little gas truck, they're asking $650 to $750 for that new in the box. I just cannot believe what these things are going for, some of them. As far as features that are kind of cool, I think it's kind of neat that even the cars, they have little things like flip-up hoods, so you can pretend that the dude's checking his engine, as if anybody does that anymore. As far as any flaws in it or defects, I am missing the top part of gas pump 1. 2, 3, and 4 are all fine, but I couldn't find the pump top for 1. And I believe the chair in here has a chip on the front of it. And also there is a missing flat gray piece that goes here on the lift. But this is another kind of little cool feature is, you know, Legos weren't just looking neat, but they actually, you know, had function, right? So you could drive your car up on top, and then you could bring the lift up have it up in the air so this dude can get into there and see what's wrong and how to inflate the bill for you. A little spare tire walking around here. You've got a broom and a fire extinguisher there. You have the front side. You've got some gas bottles or something here, I guess. Some tires. I put the girl checking out the flowers, which I guess by nowadays you'd call that fairly sexist, but back in the 80s it was okay for girls to like flowers and guys to go do other stuff. So that's a throwback. In general, everything is pretty much there though. Like I said, besides the top of gas pump 1 and the chip on the seat. And again, this is not just the 6375 base, but it is the one that has the tow truck with the Jeep behind it and the fuel pumper. And all the individual people that came with it are there as well. The latest one, as far as the big kits that I got, is the motorcycle shop, which is rather coincidental since I ended up having a motorcycle shop eventually. It is kit number 6373, and I have the booklet that came with it for instructions. Most of us that own motorcycle shops would have flowers outside, but whatever. It still has all of its parts. The only thing that I could find that's missing is there is a helmet display down here, and it's missing one of the stands, which is just 2 little clear cylinders for the white helmet to go there. But it has all the motorcycles, the people, you've got both the service guy and you have the guy in black leathers that's going to be riding. You've got one bike with a sidecar, and you've got the blue bike here and the yellow bike in the showroom. Probably because they figure nobody wants the yellow bike, so we'll just sit it inside there instead. And it's got a phone on the desk and whatever else. So this one should be, 99+% there. It's just missing that helmet stand from what I can tell. And I do have the box for this one as well. Now onto the smaller kits. The Learjet was one that came from way back when. Pretty simple little model. As far as I can tell, everything's there. I don't think anything's missing. I think this is the way it came. So that's the first one. There's 3 little wheels down there. The next one is a 6803 Space Patrol. And as far as I can tell, all the pieces are there. This one is 100%. The next one is a 6805 Astro Dasher. And again, I got the box for it, and looks like this guy's 100% complete as well. The next is the 6824 Space Dart 1. Has a rotating needle on the front. Looks like everything is here, so I believe this one is 100% too. With the box. Next is the 889 radar truck. I think everything is on this one as well. The little radar dish goes up and down. Wheels and everything, steering wheel in here. No box, but it has the instructions. So I believe that one's complete. Next is the 6804 Surface Rover. And most of them is here. The only thing I can see missing is it needs a little red light or lens for the front. Other than that, everything is here, including the box and the instructions. The next one, I don't know what happened here, but 6823 Surface Transport should have been easy enough, but all I could find was one axle and the space dude. And I guess I had his, I think there's a ladder piece, and he's got his metal detector or whatever thing. So I hesitate to really say that the kit is here because it's really not. It's just a couple pieces, but they're throw-ins. The next one is the 6606 Road Repair Kit. One guy, he's got his little cart. He's got a pick and a shovel. He's got some traffic cones and some little barricades. Again, 100% complete. Don't have the box for that one, but I do have the instructions. Next is, I don't really know what kit number it is, but this is some kind of a bucket loader construction thing with a little wrench in the back there, steering wheel. bucket loader comes up. Again, they get more complex with all their features and stuff, but it makes them more fun to play with as toys, not just building. In theme with the police station and hospital, we also have our fire trucks. You've got your fire guy on top. He's got a folding deal, some lights there, fire extinguisher here. He does have his fire hose with a nozzle on it, his walkie-talkie, and his big stomper tires. So I don't have the book or the instructions or box or anything, but looks like it's complete. I don't know anything that's missing on it. And the very last thing is this conglomerate of all the pieces that are extra. So no rhyme or reason to this. There's the metal detector I was telling you about, an extra head and helmet, extra chair, a couple odds and ends. So these are the pieces that I had as extra after building the kits to the level I did. If you haven't done so, please click the link below to subscribe, click the little bell for notifications so you don't miss any more Gen X toy fun, and let's live for today.